The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
LA, straight up. Let's go out to LA. The new anthem, California Love Part 2. One time. To live and die in LA. West side, west side, west side. To live and die in LA, where everybody try to fatten their pocket. So many hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing, currency chasing. Worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we
Well, hello. God bless you, community family. Welcome to Gang Talk. You caught me and Skipp playing with our toys, but tonight's the night for that. And, as I posted on Facebook, well, let's just get started with our usual procedure, and that's to thank our guests from last week.
You know what, sister? I feel so bad. I talked to Sister Soldier last week, Cynthia Mendenhall. I'm so grateful that she came.
Yes.
And at the last minute, about 2:30, 3 o'clock last Thursday, Big John said, go get the keys. Yeah. I got to go. I can't this. And I had to go do that class. So I'm grateful to be able to do the class. But at the same time, all the years we've been on podcast radio, I would have loved to be sitting here with Sister Soldier.
Yes.
So thank you, sister, for coming. I appreciate it.
Yes, we really do. As you can see, we appreciate Skipp. I don't know if you can see this. This is the smallest champagne balloon I could find.
Champagne balloon.
It's a champagne balloon.
Do I drink it?
Well, no.
No,
but it's symbolic, okay?
Symbolic,
and as I posted today, which has really been tough to say okay to, and that's that Skipp is going to be leaving Gang Talk.
Yes, sister. You said it was tough.
Yes.
Let me tell you how my day started. I saw you this morning.
Yes, you did.
When my day started.
Yes. As
we were at the funeral for our good brother, Gary Dorton. Yes. Everybody calls him Twin.
Yes.
And he had no reason being dead right now.
No.
But we were at his funeral. Mm-hmm. That's a horrible way to start the day.
Oh, my God. And then, we had Harry Warren service yesterday too, and Harry apparently may have been ill. We don't know, but he wasn't murdered. That's a whole difference between the two scenarios. And both of these dear men worked on our side of the table.
Yeah.
And Harry worked directly with the young people, keep them in line. And the work that he did, and been doing that for 30, 40 years.
It really wasn't a good year for Grid this year.
No.
Biscuit.
Biscuit, yes.
Biscuit
oh my God,
on
yes. Biscuit.
Easter Sunday, April 1st, his truck flipped over. And he was ejected. His child's mother was ejected, and both of them died. Easter Sunday morning.
Yes.
And, of course, Twin was murdered.
Yes.
Someone actually came and took his life, stole him away from his family, his children, his mother and aunt. So many people who love him. Mm-hmm. And that, too, was on July 1st, which was a Sunday morning.
July 1st. And,
right. And then Harry Warren, which was another Sunday.
Yeah.
He, too, passed the Sunday following. I believe that was July 8th, if I'm not mistaken.
And what's so crazy, Skipp? The last time I saw Harry was actually because we haven't even resolved the murder of the 3 15-year-old kids.
Right.
We do have the shooter for Lamarion Upchurch and Manye Jackson, their murderer. He is in custody. But unfortunately, 15-year-old Hannah Bell, her killer is still at large, and no updates on any information. So that's the hard thing in the work that we do. The last time I saw Harry was outside of Manye Jackson's homegoing service. Mm-hmm. And he was sitting outside working like he always did. The last time I saw him, and the thing that makes this so hard, family, is that burying our 15-year-olds is the harshest thing that I think that we could do as a people. Bearing our kids to this violence at 15 years old is the harshest thing we could do as a people.
Right.
So I was so overwhelmed, and I'm going to say overwhelmed, I'm going to use that word, to be in that sanctuary filled with their friends, their peer
Right.
group, their friends, the kids that they hang out with. And I made myself a promise that I was going to stop doing that. I'm not going to any more funerals where we're so reckless and careless. We don't care about our children. I'm not going to do that anymore. Only to go this week and celebrate Harry yesterday and now Gary today.
Right.
You know, this is a kind of tough work that I don't think people really understand what makes Skipp Townsend so valuable to us. I don't think you really understand.
Well,
So-
it's an old saying that the same thing will make you laugh and one day make you cry. And both of these gentlemen, matter of fact, I'm going to go back. All three of these gentlemen have made me laugh. And then the day came where they made me cry.
Yeah.
Also, if I could, you know, and it's kind of in tune with what we're going to talk about a little bit today, is that I was a tow truck driver when I met, well, I didn't meet him, but I'd already known him, but Bo Taylor. When I got with Bo Taylor and we had classes on Tuesdays in the afternoon. So I would make sure my schedule was clear so I could spend that Tuesday.
Right.
But that was the only day that I had something to do. And I actually asked God, I said, give me so much that I won't tow anymore. Give me so much to do in this work. I want to do more in this work to where I don't have. So then I started going Tuesdays and Thursdays to Cal State LA, the Pat Brown Institute for the train, and then I started going Wednesday for Ceasefire, and then I started my own Second Call Tuesdays, and you know, and it just started growing to the point where yesterday, Harry's funeral, I had a 2:00 conference call. And I had a 3:00 class.
Yeah.
I got so much going on. I had to go run and grab the obituary, hug a couple people, and run off. And, you know, that's the hard part about this work, too, is that, you know, when people don't see other people around, they say, oh, they don't care no more. They know. But no, the work is so big that
it is. It's
people have
enormous.
expanded into other areas. And, you know, and once again, the same thing that make me laugh or make me cry, because those are things I want to be around my people, the ones who I work with, but at the same time need to be doing other things.
Well, the need is greater.
Yes.
The need is greater than our want. Okay, and that's the bottom line. And I thought about that today. What's of greater importance to us? Our needs are our wants. And I think too many of us have been led by our wants and overlooking our need. And our basic need is just to be human beings again in the village that raised me. I'm here because the people that raised me cared about us as a people, all of us, and the men protected us. They protected me from outsiders that are killing our women in Oakland, killing our men in Florida, and walking away from it. You know, stand your ground. Just in the last 2 weeks, this man that stabbed these two young girls, one of them fatally up here in Oakland in California. You see, it's these kind of things that make me ask in the brothers, well, what do I do about that?
Right.
Do I defend myself? See, because in the case of the stand your ground in Florida, I'm going to say this real candidly. Since the instigator killed the young man, did his girlfriend have a right to shoot the shooter?
Yeah, that's something that we definitely got to ask. And also we got to ask, why is it that these police chiefs and police captains refuse to prosecute when they know the difference between right and wrong? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense that, that they even have the option. It should be no option. But, you know, you're talking about the young girls who were killed in Oakland, and I don't want to take anything away from them, but I'm looking for the name of this young man who was just murdered this past weekend as well in Long Beach.
In Long Beach,
Yeah, so I'm looking for his name because he's. I got a picture of him an hour before he actually was murdered, and he's a friend of mine, a guy named DuPont. He was actually there, and DuPont took the picture of him.
See how close we are?
Yes, indeed.
See, family, when I say family, this is why.
Frederick Hooks. Frederick Hooks.
You found this? Okay, yes, because we always want to remember our victims'
No,
name.
Taft. I'm sorry, Frederick Taft, but they called him hooks. And this is, look, sister, this is an hour before he passed away.
That's
an hour. You know, he's taking a nice picture. He's enjoying time with family and friends. And no, it's not an accident. No, it's not.
No, it's not an accident.
It's, you know, individuals are out hunting us.
Yeah.
So that kills me that we want to hunt each other. When there are actually people in Florida, in Oakland, and Long Beach, who are in West Virginia, wherever they are, they want to hunt us, and it's really a sad day when we hurt each other.
It is,
and so many want to hurt us.
You know, that's a current event, Skipp. But the truth is, you and I, Gang Talk started in 2009.
Yes,
and then somewhere along the way, you started showing up.
Yeah, when you call.
Okay.
That's how it happens. When you call, I show up.
He was a guest, and then he became a regular guest and turned into co-host, just kind of like poof. Then it happened. So, oh, look, there's a picture. That's just a few pictures. Just a few. Very select. You know what happened?
What happened?
I couldn't go through all the folders.
Do you see how big Jaime's head is? You can see Jaime's head at the top right there. Like out of all the other people, Jaime's head just like stands out.
But do you
right
see
there.
the picture that's in the middle at the top?
Picture in the middle at the top. Yes, that's Big Sight.
Big Sight.
And that's KK from Second to None. Yes, indeed.
I had forgot Big Sight came to the radio station.
Yeah,
I forgot that. And then we honored him here.
Right. We had Big Y and Squeak Roo here.
Yeah. They came in to honor him. And then I was going through the folders one day looking for pictures of you and found that picture of you, us with Big Sight. Yeah, it was like, look, we have done some things over the years. And
you know what's really crazy is when Syke died, he was 48 years old.
Yes.
And it kind of shocked me like, man, they're not making it to 50.
Yeah.
And I looked at the obituary today, and do you know Twin was 48 years old?
Yes.
And it's like, man, some guys don't make it to 50.
No.
Bo Taylor died at the age of 42.
40.
You know, I'm just so grateful for God that I'm alive and able to live in the legacy of so many other people, you know, who came before us. And definitely, sister, for your work, you know, this is I want to say unsung. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to ask Felicia. She looked up when I said Felicia. I'm going to have to ask Felicia, can we get you a version of Unsung? You know, she knows the people that do it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
indeed.
Well, see, because we don't want to be melancholy because, look, I bought a balloon champagne glass because I don't want this to be a sorrowful evening. You know, because, Skipp, you're doing... Tell our family where you're going. You're not just leaving. You're actually doing...
Sister, I'm going to prison.
Yep.
I'm going to prison. I've been there before.
Yes.
You know, I just finished January completing 6 years at CIW, California Institute for Women. Mm-hmm. So I was at a women's prison for 6 years. Okay. And I told the staff, the police, and the brothers at Victorville federal prison that I'm not about to do 6 years here. I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a group of you together, and I'm going to give 2 groups 16 weeks of my time. Okay. And I'm going to teach you how to teach each other what it is that I come in here and teach, so that you guys can make sure that it continues and one helps the other. You know, it's like, you know, like Second Call, we call it a wolf pack, man. And a wolf is only as strong as his pack. But in there, and I'm going to tell you, there's a person named Patrick, Giovanna's brother. Patrick, we call him Pepe. He actually was in Victorville, started that phone call about 2 years ago, and now he's at Terminal Island. So Giovanna said, Patrick looking for you. Patrick looking for you. And I'm like, what? Where is he? And then next thing I know, he called and he said, Skipp, man, I know that you out there, but I'm not there no more. He said, can I get you in Terminal Island? So I'm going to go into Terminal Island and do a resource fair and stuff with them. And
mentor from the inside.
And mentor, but maybe even, you know, do the same thing I'm doing in Victorville. And today was supposed to be my first day at a Camp Finner in Antelope Valley. I'm going to do that in the morning on Thursdays. Okay. So that wasn't going to take my time, but doing that in the morning on Thursdays, but I couldn't go because, it was Gary's day.
Yeah,
and I had to give Gary that.
Yeah,
but yeah. So, sister, and one short answer. Where am I going? I'm going to the penitentiary.
You know what? That's so funny. I was going to buy you some handcuffs.
Oh, no.
So you could just take yourself in there in safety and then come back out in safety, that they won't get you confused and try to keep you. You know, that's the joke.
Yes,
that's
indeed.
a joke. They don't try to keep you. That's all we want to make sure, that they don't try to keep you.
I holler and scream too loud. They don't want to keep me. Like, deputy!
I think they don't care about that. Let him scream.
Right.
I watched Shawshank. Every time it comes on, I watch Shawshank, so I don't know if they still do that, but I know they're capable of it. Because, look, let's get serious for a minute. You know, Skipp and I have been working together for a very long time, and the reason being is because he had the courage to step out on a very thin ledge with this crazy woman right here. Very thin ledge. When I started, I marched around the city with families and mothers, grieving mothers, and very few men, and the only ones leading that parade in those days were a few pastors that in the interim disappeared, and LAPD. Mm-hmm. They were leading. But the community, we were just showing up to march. We weren't doing anything, so it preceded the Watts Gang Task Force and Southern California Ceasefire Committee. And, as I try to be candid with folks as much as I can, this work started for me in 1988 with the malicious murder of Charlotte Austin Jordan's daughter, 13-year-old daughter, Jamie Finney. And Jamie and her 18-year-old driver were executed gangland style in broad daylight. And the most devastating murder I had known of to that date. And Jamie was classmate and friend to one of our kids. So the grief came home with them. And at 13, it was devastating. Yes. I couldn't believe my child was in so much pain about the vicious murder of her friend. And I don't want to tell on my children, but they made a conscious decision after that to align with the gang of our neighborhood. They made a conscious decision. And it's like, well, can't you mix up some of that color you're wearing? You just head to toe one color. It's like, wait a minute. You're a walking target.
Right.
You're a walking target. And but that's the damage, that's the residual effect of what murder does to our kids. We're not looking at them and what it's happened to them. We're concentrating on the parents. But that one, it was a lot more killings than that in those days, but this was the most malicious at that time, to murder these two girls. The oldest one was 18 and Jamie was only 13. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like a punch in the head for me.
Not just for you, sister, but to the entire South LA community.
Yeah.
It was really a slap in the face to every mother and grandmother.
Yes.
It was a slap in the face to every child who, at that time, literally could walk to the store, could drive to the store, could go wherever they wanted, and would know that no matter what foolishness was going around or going on, they were exempt from it. Mm-hmm. They were not going to be targeted or whatever. So what that did is actually it changed a lot. It in my opinion, it was one of the first of the animalistic behaviors of the people in our community. I don't care, and I'm sorry it had to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry it had to happen to them, and I'm sorry it had to happen. Period.
Right.
But it kind of it changed the narrative in the community where there were a lot of people saying, "No, I don't care," and they were just shooting randomly.
Well, you know what?
It wasn't like that before that.
No. Well, see, that's when the drug war got real serious. They got real serious, where the drug and the drug money meant more than anybody's life.
Right.
Your life had no value whatsoever. So those were the dark ages that Skipp and I were walking through in the beginning of this. And in 2018, we can both say that, is it better?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely better now.
Yes, yes. But the killing of Gary, July 1st, that was a step backwards.
Right.
Step backwards, family. And the only good thing that came out of that is that the shooter's people have denounced him. They denounced him. They had nothing to do with this killing. They're not hiding his killers. They're not trying to stand behind Gary's murder whatsoever. So we believe that's what makes the difference in the conduct now. That we have the leadership saying, no, we're not doing any random acts of violence against people that haven't done anything to us. So, are there grudges? Heck yes.
Oh, man, tension is high.
Oh, my God. Every time you kill somebody from somebody else's neighborhood, it raises tensions, and it takes a lot of strength for Gary's neighborhood, and I have to compliment them. They have not responded. They're not going to respond. They know everything they need to know about this, but they're waiting on that process. That process, whatever that process is, whether it's arrest, whatever that process is, they're waiting on something to happen because...
Oh, yeah, that courtroom. Once whoever did that gets caught, that courtroom is going to be horrible.
Yeah.
It's going to be full of both sides, those that love Gary and those that love that young man. That's when a person like myself and Taco and all the rest of us, we have to be there, or else, of course, law enforcement will do what they do.
Yeah. Well, you see Jennifer Rivers, her baby Tevin killed over those red shoes. Right. And, LAPD, you may not like them, but they moved every rock they could and caught all of them that were involved in Tevin's murder. All of them. All of them. Starting with the young lady that jammed Jennifer up on the spot by calling her a snitch and threatening her.
I've never said this live on air about anybody getting arrested, but she needed to get arrested.
Yes, she did.
Sitting there kicking and tormenting the mother of a child who was just murdered in front of her.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no respect for that young lady.
None.
For whatever she was trying to do or whatever she thought was right. Yeah. It was 100% wrong.
She was absolutely
100% wrong at that point.
Yes.
And so I throw my hands up, and I'm glad that she got the opportunity to get what she deserved.
Hey, me too. I'm glad she's in lockup. If you're going to be a knucklehead, you don't deserve to be free on the street if you take a life and then intimidate that whoever is there. See, Devin didn't do anything to you, girl. He didn't do nothing to you for your friend to take his life and then kill him in front of his mother.
Right.
So look, Skipp, that's years. But see, these are the things that we do on a daily basis. And so we were just out at the exhibit, I don't want to call it an exhibit, where victimized families brought their children's shoes.
Yes.
And we had that big display. And again, I want to thank Assemblyman Mike Gibson for having the sensitivity to do that for a community. And I want to tell you, mothers that didn't, families that missed that, the mothers want to do that again.
Can I tell you that he had a pair of shoes out there as well? Mike Gibson, Assembly Member Mike Gibson.
For his son.
Yeah, about 12, more than 12. It was probably about 15, 16 years ago when his son was murdered by a hit-and-run driver. So.
Right.
Those situations are horrible, and I want to say that regardless of how your child is murdered, regardless of what situation, where an individual actually leaves your home and never comes back, is going to be the worst feeling ever in the world. If this one is hit by a car, if this one trucks flip over, if this one is shot. I mean, I want to stop all acts of violence, but the pain and hurt that those parents feel
Okay, and let's not gloss over how many hit and runs that actually happen in this city, and that driver that has just committed murder goes home and tries to hide. Whoever his friends are hiding them, but you left a dead body in the street, child, woman, pregnant woman, just a week or so ago.
I heard about that on Crenshaw and Rodeo. One of my friends actually hit someone, this is years ago, on Washington and Gramercy. Individual runs across the street, he didn't see him, hit him. He's standing out there, the paramedics come, take him away. They were waiting, the police says, well, we're waiting to see what happens. And eventually the young man died who got hit. But my friend, so everybody in the community came out to see why the streets were blocked and this and that. And my friend didn't have insurance, had a valid license, but didn't have insurance. So eventually what he got was 90 days in jail. And it took about 2 years for them to go back and forth to give him the 90 days. And to me, I don't know why people don't know that. Please stop. If you don't have a license, if you don't have insurance, if there's something wrong, whatever it is, please deal with that. Let's deal with that issue, because whatever that issue is not worth going to prison for 12, 15, 17 years. And then the family, too, there's no, I don't want to say closure, because there's never a closure, but there's no satisfaction in getting to know what actually happened, what was going on at that time. So I think, if nothing else, the mother of whoever that is needs the participation of the person. Stay there, man. Don't run. Don't run. Even if your license gets suspended for a year or two, it's a whole lot better than...
Well, and I'm sorry to say, but even one of my family members was rear-ended by a drunk driver on Vernon. And sad to say, he had a minor injury, but it's the fact that there was no sense of responsibility. Just, I don't care. No big deal. You see, and there's something missing in that soul that will hit a child and keep on going and go home. There's something missing in them, and that's a sin and shame to the city that's called Angels. You can't be serious. And we have hit and run drivers that feel like, just let me get out of it. Just let me get out of it. I don't care about the victim. I really don't care about their family. Just let me get out of it. So, this city has a lot of other issues that are really not at this table, but that are part of this table, like domestic violence too. So, but our whole thing is gang homicide. That's my whole thing. And Skipp's thing is not only gang homicide, but re-entry if you're ready.
Re-entry, domestic violence, all the different characteristics I found that lead to the violence. Some of the things that happen is the fact that individuals don't get the opportunity to talk. Even the individuals who were at the funeral today, at some point they got to be tough, and they can't really just sit down and cry and be like, man, it hurts. So the guy who wants to be tough, when he hurts, he's going to hurt someone. And it might be at home. It might be on his own street, his own block. And if there's no one there to trip on, then they might drive off somewhere and look for somebody to hurt. So, the thing that I always say is a victim and suspect come out the same homes. Can we look at our children and see when they're hurting, see when they're in pain, and intervene? Let's get involved. As you said, your child, your daughter, I don't know if it was your daughter or who was close to Charlotte's, but that hurt has to be addressed. I have to let you know at this moment I acknowledge it, and I know it hurts. Go ahead, cry, talk, whatever you want to do. I'm here to listen. But if not, that bottled up anger and emotion explodes one day on someone somewhere.
Well, sadly, it was like that for that child for the next 5 years, bearing a whole lot of peers. It was crazy, and I really didn't think that mentally or emotionally that they were going to survive. It's like, I don't know how you can carry around this trauma and keep it all closed in, but it was kept closed in, held in check by the anger. So when I say they were a walking target, I mean they were a walking target. And was I fearful about them getting home? You're crossing territory to go to school in your enemy's neighborhood, and those were hard years, and I just had no expectation, none, because it was so reckless and out of control in those years. And I went from hitting the floor and hiding into turning into a witness. And I'm not sure if any of my children was happy when I did that. I'm not sure, did I bring more pressure on them or did I give them a safe passage? I'm not sure. But I went from hitting the floor when the gunfire happened, and we all did the same thing. And, then I turned into a witness because they weren't just they didn't care where the bullets were going, but they were trying to kill the neighborhood kids that our children grew up with. See, so it's a cycle that has covered all of our communities, not just mine. So, Skipp, look, we've been doing that for a long, long time, talking about this stuff. But tonight, this is the Skipp appreciation moment. So I came with fun stuff and sentimental things that I want to give you. So let's start with this first. Let's start with this first. Let's see, what is that? No, that's not the one. Oh, it's here. There you go. Okay. This is old school.
This is old school.
In a new brown bag.
All right, y'all. I got me a 40. If it's old school, this is old English. Or ooh wee.
That's real old school.
This is okay. This is before old English, huh? Yes, indeed. So there was a song by Gil Scott Herron. I think he said, "What's the word?" And it wasn't Johannesburg. No, it was Thunderbird. What's the word? It's Thunderbird. Yes, indeed. This is ooh wee, you guys. So for those of you who don't know about Thunderbird, average 14, 15-year-olds learn to drink this right here, and everything comes up. This is where you learn how to call for Earl. This is how you learn how silly you can get.
Yes. Oh,
how silly you could act. Just a little bit of this right here.
This is a party, so we brought other stuff.
All right.
That's real OG right there. You
know,
don't
this
have to
right
turn
here.
the bottle around. You can just hold it up like this.
Hold it up like this.
You know what that is, don't you?
Yes, indeed. Let me tell y'all right there. That's going to start the fight at the party. So this right here, for the young people who learn how to drink, this is going to make you throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put this right here, too. Put them both up here. So this is going to make you learn how to drink and see that you can't hold your liquor, even though you thought you was grown. Okay. But this right here.
Turn around.
This right here. This Mad Dog 2020, let me tell you right there, that's going to start the fight at the party.
Yes.
If you've ever been to a party with Mad Dog 2020, raise your hand and know that, and see, back in my days, it was, what's his name, Zapp, Roger Troutman and Zapp.
Zapp. Yeah,
Zapp, they used to sing, So Rough, So Tough. Right here. Oh. The words was my dear, but they would say right here. So rough. And this is when they drink this and get to looking like who don't belong in the party.
And this is the OG flavor, too. Because now it comes in blue and mango and stuff, but nothing like the original red grape.
Yeah, that's
red
OG.
grape.
That's
that look
OG.
red to you?
Nah, that's the real grape right
red
there.
Grape, okay.
So what's the word? It's Thunderbird. And what do you need to get your party started right? Mad Dog 2020.
Look, and I brought camouflage cups.
All right. Yes, indeed.
Sippy cups, okay?
Yes, indeed.
So, what's your pleasure? But to be on the serious note, because this is a very special occasion, certainly for me, I brought you a real gift.
No, those are real gifts.
No. Those
so
are
what, I
party
can't keep
jokes.
them? I can't keep those?
I'm taking that Mad Dog home and drinking it
look,
tonight.
I see that.
In a sippy cup.
So you going, ooh, wee. Now this is it right here, y'all. So this is growing up. So growing up now, being grown, this is what the graduation was. The graduation was to the Hennessy right there. You see that, y'all?
In the box.
Yeah. That's Hennessy right there.
Okay.
So that's so this was 14, 15, 16 years old. Mad Dog 2020 was 18, 20 years old.
At least.
But get grown, turn 30, 32, and learn how to appreciate that right there.
Okay.
Are we doing advertising? Is this a commercial?
Well, not really.
Oh, okay.
But because Hennessy ain't going to give us nothing.
Oh, okay.
But I asked the kids.
Uh-huh.
I said, tell me which one I should get. And they said, get one of these. One of these, one of these, and one of these.
So I know about the Swisher Sweets.
Everybody knows about the Swisher
I
Sweets.
have no idea about the backwoods and
well,
the
young
gang.
man recommended the backwoods. He said if he got get the backwoods. So,
all right. So I got everything I need now.
Yep.
Except one thing. I got to go get there has to be a young lady.
No, Skip. No.
I'm too old for that.
No. Well, you know, you see your kids in the picture.
Yeah.
The picture that I put up. I wanted to make sure I got as many of your children's pictures in that photo collage.
And one of them has a birthday today.
Today?
Yes.
Oh,
and her
wow.
grandmother died on her birthday.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sorry to hear that.
shout out to Lucy Mae Thomas. We're going to miss you. And
Yeah.
Shapri Townsend, enjoy your birthday.
Yes, please do. Please do. You got a wonderful daddy. Now, that took about 10 minutes. This is really...
I appreciate you, sister. I appreciate you thinking of me.
Well, Dale told me to give you the Thunderbird and the Mad Dog, so that was his suggestion. He said
he's funny.
A holy message. It's like, yeah.
He's funny.
And then he sure did say, make sure you get the blunt. Okay, make sure. So
like
those are his contributions.
Yes,
Now, this is the real present.
Uh-oh. I can see from here that this here is, looks like a Grammy, but I can't sing, so no, I didn't win a Grammy Award. It is... Uh-oh. Gang Talk Radio. Lifetime... Aww. Okay, so this is where we take a break. I'm going to go check the Earl and the tires. Stevie Wonder is going to sing Set Us Free or something.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister. I
The
truly
Earl in your radiator. Yeah.
I truly appreciate this.
Well,
That
you know,
is really nice.
there are some people, and this is for those people that have been at this a very long time.
That is
okay?
really nice.
That's not brand new to this. Didn't just show up in town. And I was really trying to remember where I actually first met you.
I remember.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, remind me.
Okay, so there was something going on Rodeo. It was Rodeo in front of...
Dorsey.
No, not Dorsey. It was in front of the houses, not the Gloria homes. What are the houses in between La Brea and...
But over by the school.
But west of the school, like going towards the Fedco, the Target or whatever.
Is that when the little young man was hit?
So I think the young man was hit in front of the school. Is that correct? Yeah, no, this was somewhere further down, I guess. It might have been when the young man was hit, but you guys met or something? There was a meeting or something?
We got that signal there because of that hit and run.
Right, but at the same time, that's when Mother Marcia, her daughter, was killed.
Yes.
So I met you guys somewhere else, and then I came out to that candlelight vigil for Marcia's daughter.
Marcia.
And that's where I met you, Eddie Jones, and Earl F. R. Hutchinson.
Yes.
And then I started coming. I came once or twice.
Wait, before you forget the rest of that day, we left that corner Western and 42nd, I believe it was, around there. And we went out to meet Cynthia. Sister Soldier was out there having a vigil for her son, that her second child had just been killed.
Yes. So that was for Darion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call him Iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that was then, and then, so that had to be December of 2006.
Yeah.
Somebody's on the phone. But then that's when that's when you came out of, after that, is when you came from the meeting and came to Ceasefire's
Caitlin
birthday.
Avila. That's when I found out about Caitlin Avila, little 3-year-old Caitlin Avila.
Right, I remember that. But you came to the Ceasefire breakfast after that.
After that, yeah.
Right.
Well, actually, I came to Ceasefire when, because of Devin Brown and the community call to action and accountability.
Right. So Ceasefire wasn't started there.
No, it was,
Yeah.
but it was
Right.
at the
It was,
beginning, and then they met in the little boardroom upstairs.
Right.
So
I hear somebody on the phone.
while we're doing all this memorabilia stuff, we have a caller.
Yes, you do.
Oh,
It's Barbara.
hi, Barbara.
I couldn't have let this day in without calling in.
Okay.
I appreciate you so much, Barbara.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. I just want to just let you know that you're in my prayers for your new journey.
Yeah.
I know that God has brought you so far and that he's going to continue to bless you with more. And just know that that seat on the side of sister will always be there. We know it. She know it. And when you get up there and get going, you owe us all an interview.
Yes,
Give us an
indeed.
update.
Yes,
So
indeed.
I'm going to make sure I come and sit in and be her co-host that day so we can get the 1,001 questions on the new journey for you.
I appreciate you, Barb, and I appreciate you this morning too. By you had the best joke of the day. So I just wanted
bless you. Yeah, hey, Sister Herron, he was stuck on the freeway, and he got out and was showing everybody. And I asked him, I told him I thought you was about to do the Kiki challenge with everybody else.
Yeah, that was the joke of the day. I appreciated
but
that.
my hat
That made
goes
me
off
laugh.
to you, though, and you enjoyed. I know we'll run across you because I know this part of the journey only closes, but the other parts will open up.
Oh,
so we'll
yes,
see you
indeed.
again.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Barbara.
All right.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Love
Enjoy.
you, girl.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You know, Barbara's become a huge force for us, especially in the absence of Vicky Lindsay. And, you know, Skipp, this memento here really means what it says on here. Lifetime achievement. From Gang Talk, from our beginning, you know, this has been a lifetime together for you and me. And hadn't been perfect, but God, we put in the work. You know, we doing it the right way.
Do you remember when they cut the power off? We was outside with
Oh
Dave
my
Love.
God! Yeah, we ought to talk about that one. We was trying to go after the police.
Right, and they came after us, turned the power
They came
off.
out to the station when we were on radio and turned the power off 15 minutes before we were supposed to air, and didn't turn it back on until 15 minutes after we were supposed to be off.
And then, do you remember that car that drove by?
Yeah,
and
we were
Dave
standing
Love
on
looked
the
at him?
corner. Yep, we were standing on the corner of the studio discussing it, and I was doing the last segment with a few comments from the guests. That's what we was doing. Yeah, leave them with a word if they missed the show. And so we were in the middle of doing that comment, and y'all looked like convicts standing up against the wall. It was such a picture. But then your heads went this way. Like, what are they looking at? And they're looking at this unmarked police car coming from the back of the building with these two suspects.
Right.
We profiled them. They was totally out of place.
Oh, yes,
Not in
they
that
were.
neighborhood, not coming from that building,
Yes,
not coming
they
from
were.
that block. So they were profiled, and we knew in a moment.
Well, I mean, you know, it take one to know one, and Dave Love is one of them.
Yeah,
So
see-
when he saw him, he looked.
He said, well.
Yeah, so that's them, Skip. In case you want to know, that's
Yeah,
them right there.
Yeah, It's kind of
Oh,
like
man.
that epiphany. Oh, now we know what happened. Now
Man,
we know.
Man.
Yeah, because, you know, we had a disclaimer on the radio.
Because, because Donna said that word on the radio. Remember that?
Mm.
Donna didn't say it. Donna said one of them words.
No, that was Lele.
Okay, Lele said it.
dropped
once.
the F-bomb.
Okay, Lele said it. Okay, Lele probably said it first. I remember Donna
She did.
said it. Lele said it on the side by 68th Street, but Donna
Right.
said it on the other side with
On
no
the other
windows.
side.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, so they started saying stuff on both sides.
Well, but that's not why we got the disclaimer. We got the disclaimer because we pressed the police hard about Christopher Dorner.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes, I mean, Robert Greene was a police chief at the time, and he was really trying to work closely with us because after Kenny Garner passed, we were without leadership that we could trust. And it was in the transition with Chief Bratton, trying to build something in the South LA community, and to lose Kenny in such a blink, it was just too quick.
Right.
And there was nobody prepared to step in and fill in for Kenny. So Bratton sent us the best that he thought that he should, and
no,
Chief
Bratton
Albanese.
didn't. Bratton didn't bring up Greene. Greene
No,
was
he
a commander.
brought Albanese.
No, he brought up. He brought in
Albanese.
Albanese, but we ended up getting. Didn't we get we got Pat Gannon first.
Then we got after Albanese, then we got Pat Gannon.
Okay.
And then after Gannon, it was Bob Greene.
Then Bob Greene,
Okay.
right.
And so Bob Greene was one of the few people that worked diligently, and I want to say diligently, let me say that right, with a mental health issue in the community.
Yeah, he told me. He said, Skipp, man, stop calling the police for mental health.
Yeah.
He said, don't call us, man. Those officers are going to shoot.
They're gonna
and
shoot.
that's when I fell in love with the fire department. Not that we want to burden our fire department, truly appreciate them, but just know that that's an option. We can call the fire department and get some help for our community rather than, call police officers who are, looking for conflict, or not really conflict, but looking to make contact, and it's not always healthy, the contact that they make.
And it's not, and this is not my night. I want to bang on the police because they just have another thing here that we question them about the dangerous nature of the way that they kill Grichario Mack in the Crenshaw Mall. We already confronted them about that, and we see the result of that forewarning at the Trader Joe's.
Right.
At the Trader Joe's, and the difference is the Grichario Mack was running and had a knife, but I didn't see any evidence, and there was no evidence that he had threatened anybody.
Right.
That he had threatened anybody in the mall. He was just having side effects of a new med, and as I suggested, may possibly not even realize where he was. But there was no evidence that he had openly confronted, or, he just kind of asked the mall security to leave him alone.
Right.
That's kind of where that started. He asked them to leave him alone, and they saw something wrong, and they're the ones that took it to the next step. So, but in any case, I'm going to close the door on that, but that was our concern about the reckless endangerment of just opening fire in a place where there are innocent people.
Right.
Innocent people, and we just got the results of that with the Trader Joe shooting. That those things have to be handled a different way.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, indeed.
They do. So, anyway, what were we talking about before we got talking about police?
We were talking about ceasefire and how we met, and we met. So we met around that time. So that was the end of 2006 when we met. That was the second ceasefire breakfast where you came down the street with
we
me,
were doing
Taco
the forums and Lucy Florence and because as I said, I started out by marching with the mothers, Mothers on the March, and Vicki Lindsay and Project Cry No More, and Lorna Hawkins with Drive By Agony, and these were the women I was trying to find in those days, and so many tears on so many corners. It's like we can't keep marching and crying, and nobody's listening to us. And then around that time, the grandmother, Jean Cole, had been killed on Western in the 90s, sitting on that ledge, minding her own business, and caught in the crossfire of two cowards want to kill each other but not going to face each other. They're running away, shooting back over their shoulder at each other, and kill the grandmother on the corner. So that's when I went out there and stood in the street with my flyers and we got to stop this madness. And at the same time, when the T-shirts were coming out, snitches get stitches.
Right, I remember that.
Come on, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? What are we doing? So,
it's so crazy. There's a Facebook page that talks about things going on in Inglewood, and somebody wrote on the walls, and somebody took a picture and said, hey, we got to do something about it. And, there were so many people that came on that post and talked about, what y'all, it's a snitch page, what y'all snitching? And it's like, man, that's crazy, man.
That's crazy.
How do you not see us doing something positive about degrading the community?
Mm-hmm.
How do you see that as snitching? And it really upsets me, man. And I moved last year. I lived on this one block. I'm gonna say it was 116th in town, 116th place, and this lady was killed by her husband. He shot her during an argument, came back and shot her again, made sure she was dead. About 3 days later, there was a car accident on that corner. 2 young men got hurt. One of them passed away. They were brothers. So this mother's out there, and this is my cousin's friend, is the mother, and she's out there crying each and every day, got teddy bears and stuff up for her son. Then there's 2 cousins. They're about 21, 22 years old, boy and girl cousins. They went inside their homemade studio, made a rap record, but spent about 2 days, came out to go get something to eat, and they were gunned down and killed. So within a 10-day period, there are 4 candlelight vigils on this corner of 116th in town. And this just isn't normal.
No, it's not.
And I don't want my children to think it's normal. And so I moved. I took the 10 freeway. That's why I was stuck in traffic, as Barbara said. But Ray Ray today. Now, Ray Ray's the daughter of the founder of the Crips. Raymond. So when I told Ray Ray, I said, I'm out, gone. And she said, why would you move? And I said, bless your heart, because you got 2 boys, and you live right there in the heart of where Twin and all this stuff is going on. Do you feel comfortable? She said, no, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe. But some people don't see that it's an issue. Yeah. Some people don't see that it's a problem. Yeah. Some people accept it, and I don't want to accept it. That's why I work so hard at changing it. Yeah. I want to change the mindset and the behavior. And even on my way here, I ran across this gang unit, and I don't know them. But I've seen them twice. And I'm going to tell you, the driver in the car got his face twisted. He's a Caucasian male with his face twisted because he's chewing tobacco. He got that look. He got that look. And I'm thinking, man, how do you come into this community? How does Commander Gerald Woodyard, how does Chief Dennis Cotto allow you to work our community when you chewing tobacco like this, and you're a Caucasian male looking like what?
Like you don't belong in this neighborhood.
Like you don't
That's
belong.
What you're looking like. And as they need to understand, as they profile us, we profile them too. Look, you have just been profiled by this community, son, and we found you wanting, and really we don't want you patrolling our neighborhood, because from the look, your attitude, you're likely to shoot one of us. Yeah. So let's just be honest about it.
A tobacco chewing Caucasian male,
ugly face
in South L.A. The face is twisted.
He could have been chewing bubble gum, but it's that face is telling on him. Man. And this was one of the beautiful things I liked about that sensitivity training you and Taco used to do, is that you're not only going in there to try to prepare them with some community sensitivity, you're also getting the first look at them. You're also getting a first look at them. They're getting their first look at gang intervention, and you're also getting your first look at somebody maybe patrolling my street tonight. Well,
the way that politics work is, me and Taco don't do it anymore. The way that politics work is that, it's political.
It ain't what it was when you all started.
It's all taking a different turn when they put it in the hands of different individuals. It's just, I don't know. It's all political, and I don't feel like fighting the people that we should be fighting back to back, helping each other, but we end up fighting each other, for power, position, money. So I just don't say nothing.
But you're talking about the trickle down from them banging at the top.
Right.
See, and the banging at the top. Well, you brought this concept in under your administration, but I'm the new guy now. Okay, you ain't occupying this seat anymore. You ain't the mayor anymore. You ain't the whoever anymore. So we're gonna phase out your plan and bring in mine, even if it's just a redirected imitation of what you used to be.
Right.
But it's always that elected mentality that comes in and turns a good thing into something worse or something it shouldn't be. So, those are the consequences of fooling around with elected people that have the option to be sometimey when they don't want to be bothered.
Right.
And this is something I've had to learn the hard way, Skipp. But the ones that have been consistent are men like you.
Yes.
Not the elected people. Not law enforcement. It's been the men that work intervention, the twins, the Taco, the Skipps, the Jaimes, even Vicky Lindsay, LaWanda Hawkins, Cynthia. You see, Barbara, who just called tonight. These are the people that are really making the difference. Right. It doesn't matter who's taking credit for it. We need to know who's really making the difference, and it's the folks that are on the ground.
Yeah, we have to stay connected. We have to stay connected with each other. And Barbara just said it, when one actual door, I won't say it's closed, but when one door is left open for someone else to take advantage of it, we still stay connected no matter what door we go through. Yeah. We just have to keep communicating with one another.
Yeah, because as you go into lockup, I want to find a way for Poetess to hook us up with your lockup so we can get some interaction with those with the folks you'll be mentoring with, and make it happen that way. We're going to go more interactive, appreciate and respect the phone calls. We want to encourage that input. I want to set it up so now, because we had some comments last week. Okay. With Cynthia here. But because I'm not smart like that, I need a tutor. But, we want to make that kind of thing accessible.
All right.
Accessible.
Well, I appreciate you, sister. I did not bring anything
you weren't supposed
to show you my appreciation. However, I do want you to know that I appreciate not only having the opportunity to be here on Gang Talk Radio, but I appreciate the fact that there are 10 million people in L.A. County. And I'm sure you know at least close to 400,000 of them. Yeah, and you asked me to be your co-host, out of all the people in L.A. County, and you asked me to be your co-host. So I never said it back then, but I was truly honored and humbled, that you chose. I want to say somebody like me, but you chose me. So I truly appreciate it.
God chose you. That's the truth. See, because, and it really started, and I'm going to tell on you, when we first went to go meet the new police chief, Bratton. Okay, I opened that because I mugged our way into that meeting. Right. It was supposed to be LA leadership and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, what about us? And it's like, hey, it ain't for you. It's,
right.
If it ain't for us, then it ain't. Okay, it ain't. Exactly. It ain't. So we mugged our way in there, and I opened the invitation for multiples. Okay, multiples. Come on, meet the new police chief. Let's eyeball him. Let's find out who he is, what he's coming with. Nobody showed up but you.
Right.
Nobody had the courage to come and face the new beast but Skipp Townsend.
Right.
Okay, so that just impressed me after meeting you at those meetings and kind of correcting some of my ignorance about how this thing worked. You had the courage, and we went in there and faced Bratton, not knowing what to expect from him, not knowing if they were going to bar us or kick us out the room. And by the time we were through cross-examining him, he wanted you and me to stand behind him in the press conference, and I thought
that was the first time I got
up.
Crucified by the community.
They blew your phone up.
I'll never forget that.
Yes.
Everybody had questions about Skipp Townsend at that point. Like,
Skipp
what's up with Skipp?
Skipp's a traitor. Oh, man, Skipp's working with the man. Oh, Skipp done left us. All that kind of stuff. That was so funny.
Yeah. No, it wasn't funny. It was my first knives in the back. It was my first rocks, my first stoning. I was stoned.
Yeah, you were stoned.
Yeah.
Well, I was too. I mean, they call everybody in the room Toms and House and all kinds of things. We like to throw at folks that we don't like. And I thought, well, Skipp and I came to fight the beast.
Right.
So we had a specific mission. So whatever stone you're going to throw at us, understand we on a job. We doing a job. So.
Well, sister, we going to run out of time.
We have run out of time.
And this was the only place where I really got to have my own theme music, So I don't know if there it is right there. That's my theme music.
Yeah.
I'm honored and grateful to have Maurice White, his brother Verdine, all them, Philip Bailey, all them. They sing my theme song.
Yeah.
Yes,
Keep your head.
I want everybody. If you don't see me for the next couple of weeks, couple of months, just know I still want you to keep your head to the sky.
That'll work. Well, God bless you, Skipp. Thank you, honey. We love you.
I love you too, sister.
All right. Gang Talk will be back next week.
Yes, indeed. And Thunderbird won't be here.